Today I'm going to talk about my League of Explorers budget control priest deck. And this is a budget deck that I'm super excited about. It's so much fun and it's very strong. And I think it's the best budget deck that I have designed yet. League of Explorers did some crazy things for priest. And if you do have the League of Explorers adventure unlocked, but you're still a beginner and you're still on a budget, this deck can carry you very, very far on the ranked ladder. It has all the pieces you need to do some incredible things, and as long as you're a smart and consistent and dedicated player, I honestly think this deck could carry you as far as rank 7 or maybe even rank 5 if you get on a couple lucky win streaks. So the potential of this deck is there, and to upgrade it, you'd really only need just a couple key pieces to make this a very almost legend viable deck. So when designing this deck, really there's only one rule, and then that's if you've got the League of Explorers Adventure, you've got access to all those cards already, and you're looking to add in some stuff. I've added in 500 arcane dust worth of additional cards to this list. So it's still good for beginners as long as you already have that League of Explorers adventure unlocked and ready to go. So the goal with the League of Explorers budget control priest deck is really just simply to control the game and to control the board. It's a little bit slow in the early game, so you have to be careful, but if you get into the mid game, you have lots of recovery options that allow you to clean up your enemy's board with area of effect damage. You have a number of different ways to remove very big targets and threats. You have some big bombs of your own, like Archthief or Fom and even Jenny of Zephyrs. And you have many ways to steal cards from your opponent with Entomb or Thought Steal. And you also have ways to just extend the depth of your deck with Museum Curator and Jeweled Scarab and, of course, Thought Steal as well. So this game is incredibly good if you can survive just to turn 4 or 5 and you have a decent amount of health total. You have so many ways to recover behind taunts, area of effect spells, and removal that once you get into that mid to late game, you can really start to thrive and just do some crazy things. There are also some really strong combo potentials with like Jenny of Zephyrs and your buff cards like Power Word Shield and Valen's Chosen. You can draw lots of cards with Northshire Cleric and Circle of Healing. Archthief for Fom on his own is just a huge bomb, and if you do get the +10/+10 buff and you manage to combo with Jenny of Zephyrs, which is the dream, you can do some absolutely crazy stuff too. Elise Starseeker gives you even more late game depth if she manages to turn your entire deck into legendaries. This deck's crazy. It's really just practically a top tier control priest, but it's done on a budget, and somehow magically you're able to create it for only 500 dust in the League of Explorers Adventure. So without any further delay, I just want to go ahead and talk about every single card in this list and describe why it's here and what it does and how it's useful to meet the goals of controlling the board. Up first is Circle of Healing. This 0-mana spell restores 4 health to all of your minions. Now, sometimes you'll use that on your own board to heal stuff and draw cards with Northshire Cleric. Other times you'll use it with your Arcane Soul Priest to just clear the board, which is like a 4-mana, 2-card Flame Strike that leaves a 3/1 minion around, which is incredibly strong, and sometimes it'll be exactly what you need. So Circle of Healing has a couple different uses. After that's Power Word Shield. This 1-mana spell is really just there for card draw cycle. It allows you to draw a card for a single mana, which is nice. Flexibility, you can slot it into leftover mana turns, but also giving a minion +2 health can be very good. If you get something like a Northshire Cleric out early and you want it to survive, Power Word Shield enables that. It's also good to activate your Wild Pyromancer to do some area of effect damage without killing itself too quickly. It's also great with Jenny of Zephyrs just to absorb multiple buffs. Having some mouse issues, I'm sorry. To absorb buffs multiple times. So it's very good in a variety of ways. Northshire Cleric, it's not only an early game minion, but also just your card draw engine. It's very important that you're able to draw a lot of cards in this deck. Otherwise, you won't have the specific answer you need at the right moment, and it's very key that you have answers at every turn. So getting value out of Northshire Cleric is vital if you want this deck to succeed. Shadow Word Pain is your early game removal spell. It kills any minion with 3 or less attack. Sometimes you'll have to do that with just really scary stuff on turn 2 or 3 that threatens to kill you before you have a chance to stabilize. Even in the late game, though, sometimes this can be good with like a Sludge Belcher or another Arcane Soul Priest. There's a lot of high-value 3-attack minions that you can kill with Shadow Word Pain. Jeweled Scarab is just a one-of, but this is a new League of Explorers card. It's not very good as a turn 2 play necessarily. Sometimes it can be if it sticks around and you're able to stick a Valen's Chosen on it. But primarily this card exists to give you just some extra depth in your deck, and being able to discover a 3-cost card is pretty strong. It also combos with Brand Bronzebeard. You can get 2 cards. If you look at the Priest 3-drops, some of them are very impactful, like Shadow Word Death, if you really need an answer for a big minion. Thoughtsteal and Velen's Chosen, they're in this list for a reason. They're very good. Dark Cultist, of course, is a great 3-drop as well, so getting him can't be too bad. And there are some nice neutral 3-drops as well. Museum Curator does the same thing as Jeweled Scarab, essentially, but specifically with Death Rattle minions, and it has a little bit nicer body as well. And when it comes to Death Rattle minions, on average, they're just ridiculously good, right? There's only one, actually. There's 2 in Priests, well, just 1, Dark Cultist, and a handful of neutral Death Rattle minions. Some of the early drops really aren't that strong, so hopefully you won't run into those, but if you're able to add things like a Sylvanas or a Piloted Sky Golem or a Sneed's Old Shredder to your deck, and that will happen quite often, in fact, this turns into a really scary control priest that even though you're on a budget and you don't have all these legendaries or these really strong cards, you still get to play with them, making your deck much stronger than it really should be based on your collection. So Museum Curator allows you to play with the big boys on a budget. Wild Pyromancer. It's just another early game drop. We had to get some early game drops in here just to survive, and it's very good at killing stuff with 1 health, because anytime you cast a spell on this minion, it does 1 damage to all the minions on the board. So not only will that clear up like a muster for battle throng of 1/1s against a Paladin, but it can also enable you to do damage to your own minions to draw a lot of cards with like Northshire Cleric, Circle of Healing. So Wild Pyro can do a couple different things very well. Shadow Word Death is your just really efficient high-tempo removal spell. You can kill any of this big scary stuff for only 3 mana, which allows you to get onto the board and leaves you enough room to do other things as well. Thoughtsteal copies 2 cards from your opponent's deck and puts them into your hand. So this just increases the depth of your deck, meaning you won't fatigue as quickly and gives you more ammunition in control battles. Also, opponents run stuff like Sylvanas or a Tyrian Forge Ring. Like, they run big scary minions. And Thoughtsteal will allow you to take those, right? You don't actually steal them from your opponent. You kind of just create a copy and add it to your hand. But it just gives you so much more depth and so much more flexibility, and can really surprise opponents from time to time that it's very powerful. It's a little bit slow as a turn 3 play sometimes. Against some decks, you won't want to see this on turn 3 just because it slows you down so much. But every other time, it's very, very good. Velen's Chosen is your buff spell that works particularly well with these kind of scrawny 1 and 2 drops you have, like Northshire and Jeweled and Museum Curator. So it turns them into threats. The spell damage combos really well with Holy Nova. You have to be careful with Spell Nova and your Akanai Circle of Healing combo. Sometimes you can kill your Akanai accidentally. But it also works very nicely with Jenny of Zephyrs. If you have one of these on the board and you cast Velen's on another minion, then both of them will get the 2/4 buff, meaning that you can get 4/8 in stats for 3 mana. I even had a game recently, just 2 games ago, where I had 2 Jenny of Zephyrs out, and they both became 6/10s, and I was able to attack for 12 damage instantly, thanks to a well-timed Velen's Chosen buff. So it can do some nutty stuff. Brand Bronzebeard is really just kind of a value 3-drop in this deck. Sometimes you'll just want to play him for the body on turn 3 to trade efficiently, but he also enables some cool stuff with Jeweled Scarab and Museum Curator and even Elite Starseeker, and of course Archthieves for Fom as well. So occasionally he'll make a big play that you weren't expecting. Other times he'll just be a body. Akanai Soul Priest is a solid statted 4-cost minion as a 3/5, so sometimes as a body she'll be good, but primarily you really want her for your Circle of Healing combos, and she enables your hero power to do 2 damage to either the enemy hero or a minion, which can be great for picking off like a Knife Juggler as needed, and also just adding in late game damage for lethal or just to chip down your opponent. Elite Starseeker is another new legendary from League of Explorers that gives this deck so much late game depth. She shuffles a map to the Golden Monkey into your deck, and when you draw that map to the Golden Monkey, it adds a Golden Monkey to your deck, and when you draw that Golden Monkey, that is a 4-mana 6/6 taunt, which is crazy valuable for its cost, so that alone is good. But also when you play him, he changes every card in your hand and in your deck into a legendary minion. So if games run long, your Jeweled Scarabs and your Museum Curators and your Northstar Clerics and your Circle of Healings all turn into Ragnaros, right? Or they all turn into Sneeds or Sylvanas or Tyrion. It's pretty crazy to see, and from time to time that will win you games that run a little long. Up next is your Sinjin Shieldmaster, which may not be quite as exciting as your Elite Starseeker, but this is a very important minion in this list. It's important that you stabilize in the mid game. Some of your early game drops are pretty weak, and if you're not careful, people can just run you over really quickly. And Sinjin Shieldmaster helps slow them down. It trades really nicely with like piloted shredders and sticks around, and sometimes they'll have to send 3 or 4 minions into its face, and it buys you time and it buys you turns, and sometimes it can just save you in the late game as well if you just absolutely desperately need a taunt. So Sinjin is probably not the most like highly excitable or highly rated card in this list, but it's certainly one of the most important. Holy Nova is your just kind of high value area of effect. Not only does it do 2 damage to all enemies, but it heals all of the stuff on your side for 2 health, which works really well with your Northstar Clerics. You won't always care about the heals. Sometimes you'll just need the damage to clean up a board that's gotten out of hand. But if you can like Sinjin and then Holy Nova clear turns 4 and 5, usually the game will start to stabilize and you'll be in a very good spot to really start to stretch out your value with all these other cards. Jinny of Zephyrs is just a solid 4/6 body for 5 mana, and sometimes that's all that you'll need it to be. But other times you can get it into like a 4/8 with Power Word Shield, or even crazier stuff with Velen's Chosen. So you really only have 2 cards that benefit your Jinny of Zephyrs, but the plays that those 2 cards can make in combination with this one are important enough and impactful enough that it's worth it. Plus, it's hard to get a minion just this good on a budget deck, and since this one's already included in the League of Explorers Adventure, it fits really nicely just to give you a body in the late game. So if you have something like a Sludge Belcher, you might want to trade out your Jinny for a Sludge Belcher. I think that would be a fine trade, or any other 5-cost high impact minion. But if you're still building your collection, this is a mighty fine card for this list. After that is Entomb. This 6 mana removal spell is perfect for Priest. It has really made Priest more viable than ever, and it's included with League of Explorers, so it's great for this list as well. You choose an enemy minion and you shuffle that minion into your deck. Now what that means is, like, if your opponent plays a Tyrion, if you Shadow Word Death that Tyrion, of course, it's going to go away, but they'll still get the Death Rattle and the weapon, which can be pretty terrible. If you Entomb that Tyrion, on the other hand, you just totally remove it from the board. The Death Rattle doesn't trigger, and you add it into your deck, which means you might draw Tyrion next turn yourself. So you remove a threat from your opponent, you extend the depth of your own deck and your own threats, and you deny a lot of those card effects that can be pretty troublesome. Priest always had trouble with, like, Ysera, for instance. There was no way for a Priest to kill Ysera in the past, just because it's 4 attack, so like Shadow Word Death doesn't work on it. But Entomb no longer causes any problems with Ysera, because it just totally denies all that value and removes 9 mana from the board instantly. And then finally, you need a couple late game bombs of your own as a control priest, just in case they haven't played anything in a while and you don't have any reactions or responses, and you need to develop a threat yourself. And Archthief for Fom's not the best threat in the world. Like Ysera would certainly be stronger in this list, but he's still a very, very good one, and of course included with the League of Explorers expansion. So he fits pretty nicely into this list. And there you have it. This is the League of Explorers budget control priest deck. It's seriously a ton of fun. It's very viable. I've been winning a lot of games with this thing so far. And if you're a budget player, I think you're going to really like this one, because it's a complex deck that takes a lot of practice and focus and dedication to play well, but it really does help you learn the game and understand Hearthstone and board control and late game value and all that stuff. So let's actually go ahead and take this deck into action. We're not going to play it on the ranked ladder, because currently we're ranked 2, and that's not a reasonable representation of what a beginner or budget player is going to see. I actually think this deck would win half of its games at rank 2 right now, just because it really is quite competitive. But I think we're going to see a more realistic expectation of a budget environment in casual mode. Now that said, casual mode for me is still pretty competitive, so we might see some top tier decks, but I still think this one will compete pretty well. And even if we don't win, we'll still learn about our mulligans and some gameplay decisions and how to play this deck so that you're well equipped to succeed with it. So we're looking at a Warlock. It could be any kind of Warlock. We really don't know yet. It's still very likely that he has a lot of imps, so Wild Pyro might be good, particularly with the Power Word Shield combo in hand, and we'll have the coin as well. So Wild Pyro might be able to do some crazy stuff. Museum Curator is also fine, and really Bran is okay too, because there's some combo here between these two cards. So I don't feel the need to get a new card. I like what we have. We can work with this. It's going to let us make some plays and get started nicely. So we're in no rush. We certainly don't need to coin anything out. This is not a fast, rapid deck that has to get on the board quickly. We're probably going to play our Museum Curator on turn 2. Looks like this is probably going to be a Renolock, which is okay for us. They do have a lot of threats that can be a challenge since we don't have a Light Bomb, but we don't mind. So these two minions aren't that great in general, especially not Mad Scientist for us as a priest. Dark Cultist, on the other hand, is fantastic, and it fits our curve nicely, so that's a pretty obvious choice. I really would have liked to seen a pretty big, scary, awesome Death Rattle legendary type card, but I can work with this one. So he went for the Flame Imp there. I find that pretty intriguing.
The dam stand ready.
He can kill this thing for free, basically. But if he does, he probably can't kill the Dark Cultist, which is okay, I think. I could consider coining out a Power Word Shield to keep this alive, but I don't really think it's valuable. If either one of these go down to 1 health, we can Wild Pyro them down next turn, potentially. And if he trades here and here, for instance, we can even get a buff off the Dark Cultist on our Pyro, which might be nice. So he did the work for us. That's okay. We don't really mind. Still some pretty slow turns from him. I still think he's probably a Renolock. I found it intriguing that he chose a minion, but we don't know what options he had, so... I think I'm going to go ahead and coin out the Jinny here. I think it has a good chance of surviving. He's already used a Dark Bomb. This doesn't trade effectively. So if it does survive, we might be able to do something like Wild Pyro Velens and double our buff value with both of these. Or actually just one of them, I guess, for mana reasons. But it looks like we might be able to make a big play here.
I see.
Yeah, well, that shut that out pretty hard, but... we might still have a play. I don't know. Let's see. So it seemed like he was pretty scared of this, I have to admit. So we can't do anything with Wild Pyro to kill. We could play our Bran and just heal this. In that case, he might feel like he has to kill our Bran first, because Bran scares people a lot. If he does, then healing this makes sense. Plus, I don't want to play the Wild Pyro for nothing. If he makes this trade, then our Bran survives, and we can, like, at least get 2 maps and do some cool stuff as well. So, he has a tough decision to make here. He's down to 18 health, by the way, which is pretty crazy, but... well, we don't care too much about his health right now, particularly because I think he's a Renolock who's going to heal back up with Reno Jackson. Looks like he's going to Shadow Flame, maybe? Yep. That's fine. That's actually not that bad for us. He threw away a Lothab. He didn't accomplish anything. His health is low, and he didn't life tap. That's intriguing. Here we're just going to play the Elise. We don't need the Akanai yet. The Elise, the faster you can get her out, the more likely she is to do something cool. Yeah, we're just going to heal face, because we don't, again, feel the need to play our Pyro yet. We don't want it to be susceptible to Area of Effect when we want to get value. So this deck, you really can't just send stuff out to die. You have to try to guarantee some value out of it. So that thing's actually kind of scary. He's really hesitating about life tapping. That's intriguing. It means he doesn't have Reno yet, I think. So we could kill that if we want. We could double Velens. Take this up to what, a 5/9 and a 7/13. We'd go down to a 7/9. That's pretty susceptible to like Siphon Soul. We can't Shadow Word Death that just yet. I think I'm just going to open with a Thought Steal. We don't have to kill that right away. If he trades and Mortal Coils, it's going to be a little annoying, but let's see what we get first. I think this is okay, and I think we're going to Power Word Shield this just to deny that Mortal Coil play I mentioned. He might want to trade here now, but that's fine too. Goes down to 5. We can Vetlins to kill it. We have some options. I'd really like to see an Entomb soon, because if he gets the other half of this down, if he gets Stalling down... Man, I'm calling my predictions today. We don't actually have a good way to deal with that if both of these die. So I'd like to get rid of one so I don't have to deal with the Thaddeus they summon. I do have double Shadow Word Death, though, so I guess I don't quite have enough mana for this, but I can actually just kill the Thaddeus with my Shadow Word Death. It's kind of not fun, but because I'd really like to have one of these Shadow Word Deaths for like the next set of stuff he plays. So I hate to give him one of these for free, essentially. Let's Mortal Coil first and see if we get an Entomb, I guess. Okay, so we did not get the Entomb yet. We can do this to look for the Entomb one more time. This is going to cost 6 mana to make the safe play. Okay, so still no Entomb. I think we just have to make this play. It's not very fun to give him this giant body, but it leaves us up on the board, you know. We still have some resources. I see, I'd like to use the Shadow Word Death on this, right? I'd like to see some card draw soon. I need a Northstar Cleric, or... He may think about trading here to deny my heal trade, but... Vetlins is going to be okay here. Oh, perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Get back. We have to kill the Thoris on it. It's just far too threatening. Thinking about killing this, maybe to protect this. I'm trying to think what other... He's going to have a Sludge Belcher that might be nice against it. I guess I can just let that live for now. I have a nice play with Velen's Jenny, possibly next turn. As long as a minion survives. This could be a combo Renolock, in which he bursts us down from a really high health total. That's okay, I don't feel too bad about that. Was already down pretty far. So I kind of want to save this taunt just to deny potentially a combo. Oh, so there's the Sludge Belcher for the pain. Nice. We just talked about that. Oh, the low roll there is actually important. This would set up an insane Holy Nova if we had it. Man, how good would this Holy Nova be? So good. Where's our Holy Nova? That's not there. Man, I need that Holy Nova. Even Soul Priest wouldn't be too bad with a... Get back. I think we just use this here. I can't imagine there's a better target for that that's going to show up. I I'm a little bit scared of twisting Nether if I commit to the board pretty hard. But he has a solid board as well. Like, you know, he has 6 attack on board. We still have 2 minions left if I do this. We have an Entomb for answers. I don't see why not. It could hurt us, but it could be a huge play. I mean, we got a 6/10 for 5 mana just now. That's pretty sick. You can see how well that combo works. 6/10s are not easy for people to deal with necessarily. It's out of BGH range. They can't big game hunter it unless they use like an abusive sergeant. Don't tell me that's going to happen, by the way. That would be unbelievable. It's got a lot of health. It's just a pain for people. Particularly with this minion, because they might think I have shenanigans like Divine Spirit, Inner Fire type combo. So they might be very scared of it and really focus it down. He's actually at 13 and we have 11 damage. I didn't realize this, but we threaten lethal right now if he somehow doesn't deal with this. We have Arcane hero power for 2 damage. It seems like he doesn't have his Reno Jackson because he's been very hesitant to life tap this whole game.
I have no time for games.
So if he doesn't clear, we might just win the game. He can't life tap given what's on board. Yeah, I think we're just gonna win the game. Okay, cool. We can just ignore all this stuff and go face. Yeah, totally fine. We just win the game. So we called that one. Seems like his hand was a little clunky, but Renolock is arguably the best deck in the world right now. Certainly top 3 or 4. So I'm pretty happy to nab that win. Warlocks can also just really be a challenge for priests in general. I think we made a pretty suboptimal play as well with that Thaddeus. I mean, we summoned the Thaddeus for him, which we didn't have to necessarily do. But we were able to get up on board enough, and those Jennies were MVP in that match, honestly. He tried so hard to kill the first one with that brand, he wasted that Shadow Flame.
The light shall bring victory.
Okay, so here I want to make sure I have some early game options. I'm going to keep the Shadow Word Pain. I don't necessarily think it's going to be very good, but it might kill like a Desert Camel or a Leok, more importantly. Thoughtsteal's not very good against Hunter. I'm expecting him to be a very fast deck. Looks like that's true. So this is very slow. I might end up coining Bran next turn just to get a body out and then work from there.
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
Yeah, that's another slow card. Man, that's tough. If I coin out my Bran, he's probably going to think he has to kill it, which would be okay, but I don't know if it makes me happy. Be a heal for 4, clear 2. I could alternatively Shadow Word Pain the Mad Scientist. Bran next turn and Power Word Shield the Bran. Or maybe even coin out a Sinjin. I think I like this better. The trap could be a problem eventually if it's freezing trap, but if it's explosive trap, we're probably just going to burn through it. Okay, so that's a problem. If I coin out the Elise, I still have a turn 4 play. I think I'm going to coin out the Elise instead. Just because she contests better. The Bran dies for free to this. And I can still do this combo next turn. Can also Power Word Shield her potentially, or Velens her if she lives. So there's that Leok we were talking about. Oh, I'm surprised he didn't take that trade. Man, he's really going for it. So we desperately need some area of effect stuff soon. I'm doing this. It's certainly not very efficient or fun. But just in case we get like a Holy Nova, and he decides to kill this somehow, I need to do it now, just to enable the Holy Nova. That's like a quick shot, maybe? What is that? Surely he's not going to kill command that. He has so much damage. Yeah, it was a quick shot, okay. So we're down to 3 life. I think it's Holy Nova or bust. Yeah, I don't think we can win. I don't think we have any outs here. That won't do it. I guess I can Thought Steal, but... Hunter's Mark doesn't really help. Does it?
Your history.
I guess it technically helps.
Get back.
As far as the trade here goes, this is going to die no matter what to anything, so I'm going to sack it here.
Your history.
We're technically alive, right? He has 4 damage showing, but we're most likely just dead.
My apologies.
Yeah, we tried. That's okay, bro. Okay, so I'm glad we saw that game. That really showcases what I perceive to be the only weakness of this deck, which is really rapid starts from your opponent. Sometimes mean you don't have time to stabilize. It was a little unfortunate. You know, if we'd seen the Holy Nova, if we'd seen Ascension Shieldmaster, even a Velen's Chosen would have really helped, because basically that Misha denied our Elise Starseeker from accomplishing anything. Since we had to attack into it twice to kill it, so we got to attack a bunch for free.
The light shall bring victory.
But a Sinjin or something more defensive might have made the difference and allowed us to recover. Here, against a rogue, they can backstab weapon our Northstar Cleric pretty easily, so we want to combo with a Power Word Shield. So this looks like a turn 2, and this might even be a turn 3. So I'm pretty happy to keep these. That might be okay against SA7, or I might save it in case he has Violet Teachers.
Happy feast
Could
of
be
Wintervale.
game winning against a Violet Teacher. I'm not going to use the coin to get this out early. I don't think it makes a difference. Turn 2 will be fine. He's looking at our hero power. I don't know why. I would expect just weapon up from him here.
So many options.
That's a little troublesome, isn't it? Do I just want to Shadow Word Pain that? What rogue list runs Acidic Swamp Ooze? That's unusual. Maybe I just throw this out to die. I'm okay with that. It's really not about the body. Sneeds is a little bit more susceptible to sap than is Piloted Sky Golem, just because it costs more mana. I think I'd rather have this to get it out sooner. If he decides to ignore this, we have a nice Velen's play. I don't think he will, though. He has no reason to. So if I Northshire, Power Word Shield, it goes up to 5. He's showing 4. It might trade into this thing. That would have been way better to do that with. I think I'm going to go ahead and pain this, just so it saves our Northshire. I realize that's a little... We could have done that last turn and had better results. It saved our Museum Curator, but... I'd like for this to live a little while, because the Velen's on it might be really, really nice. He's going to eviscerate? Deadly. Man, is he going to be able to kill this anyway? Yep. It's a little bit sad. I think I'm going to play the Arcane here just for the body. We have the Holy Nova for AoE. We have like Wild Pyro Felons as well. This trades very awkwardly into his board. I don't have a Circle of Healing, so I don't feel like I have to stick this with a Circle of Healing right now. We have turn 5 and turn 6 plays. I think this is okay, just as a body. If he doesn't deal with it, of course, we can get even extra value from the hero power. Or Velens. It looks like this could be a mech rogue, I guess. I don't know, I haven't thought about it yet. Yeah, almost definitely a mech rogue. So he is going to make the terrible trade here. That's really good for us. That was a 7 health, 7 health one. Northshire Velens makes it a 3-7, which contests pretty nicely. Wild Pyro, it makes it a 5-6, but it's actually a 5-5 because it's going to take a damage, which doesn't contest. That means weapon piloted can kill it. If I play the Bran, it probably just dies to the Shredder for free. So I think I have to get a minion out to contest this. And even though I hate risking my Northshire Cleric, because we're a little low on cards, we do have another strong minion to follow it up with, so it might just be worth it. I'm very scared of this rogue because I don't even know the name of the card, but the mech that buffs other mechs is very frightening. So this is going to be a great Holy Nova for us. Just absolutely sick.
Right away.
So good. We draw a card, we kill his shade. We still have a strong minion that can't be backstabbed. Like, so good. And it's important that I killed the Paladin Shredder first. Even though our Holy Nova did 3 damage, we could have done it the other way around and potentially had more health on this, but we wouldn't have drawn the card. I had to take the damage first to draw the card. So it was very distinct reasoning there. This is one of those rare opportunities when we get to use Bran pretty well. I'm going to use Bran and Scarab. We get 2 cards here. Shadow or Death. I like the idea of having the minion, but we don't have any removal right now. So I'm going to take the Shadow or Death. Just in case he plays like a Pilot Sky Golem of his own. The game's stretching out. We have minions. I guess Thought Steal is also better here. And then we heal here for the draw. Okay, that might be good. It's going to feel very pressured to deal with this, even though this is actually the more threatening minion. We don't care about the Bran at all right now. We have taunts, we have removal, we have late game draw. I feel like we have everything we need. Is he going to get a good Blade Flurry here? I can't imagine. Is he going to Tinker's Blade Flurry? Yeah. Man, that's a pretty good Blade Flurry. Pretty good Blade Flurry. I might just Museum Curator into Sky Golem, maybe into Sinjin, just to deny that 6 damage. It looks kind of scary. Oh, I can also just Shadow or Death that. But I don't really have it. Let's start here and see what we get. Sludge Belcher is actually perfect. We'll just go ahead and play the Sludge Belcher. Or maybe the Sinjin Heal is better. No, I don't think it is, because we go down to 17 if we play this, but it sure is a stronger play. He's already used 1 Tinkers and 1 Blade Flurry. Maybe we just do feel safe. I think we just feel safe. This was the smoothest play for Mana Curve and gets us the most value out on the board. We have 3 taunts. I mean, double Eviscerate even's not that scary. We can start healing every turn as well, so. Backstab, that's fine, we don't mind. Eviscerate here, that's still gonna be able to kill whatever pops out though, probably. I mean, we're gonna be able to kill anything here. Oh, that's a pretty awesome one. Love to have seen another Holy Nova here. I think it's time to Shadow Word Death that just because it's kind of getting annoying. It's 3 mana. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and play the Sinjin for now. We'll Shadow Word Death that and then heal. I'll go ahead and make that trade there. We saw the one Blade Flurry. It's unlikely he has the other. And we saw Tinkers and a Deadly already. Maybe even 2 Deadlies. I don't see how he could Blade Flurry through this board. Yeah, we don't care about that at all. That's fine. We're not trying to do damage. We just want to win the board, stabilize. So you Eviscerate, maybe? No, it's like a Shiv. What could that be? He's targeting our minions, but a Shiv here doesn't accomplish anything unless he also has the Fan of Knives. Shiv, Fan of Knives? Oh, it is Eviscerate, okay. That feels alright. He's really scared by that. Huh, that's intriguing. Okay, man, we have some options here. What can we do? Do we go nuts with... No, we don't go nuts with Wild Pyro because we have to worry about this Acolyte of Pain. Let's start with a Thought Steal since we have mana to work with. Sprint, that's not very good. Blade Flurry is totally useless. I think I'm just going to Sludge Belcher heal. But we're going to heal this instead of our face. Unfortunately, we don't have a good trade here, so we're just going to let this live for now. It's not a great turn, but I mean, playing Sludge Belcher never feels bad. It's pretty good. Oh my. That's the best one to get it on, probably. It's a very even trade here. It's going for the Belcher, though. Thankfully, we still have more taunts. All of his weapon damage is almost gone. We've seen the double Tinkers. If he drew a Blade Flurry there, that could have been pretty gross, but doesn't look like he did. We have another death, but that doesn't actually help us right now. I think I'm going to go nuts with my Wild Pyro and clear here. I guess not nuts, but we can get rid of this at least for sure. This is working out. That could not have gone better, frankly. I don't need to heal this because his Wicked Knife is doing 4. So it's not like I'm denying the ping. He can still kill it if he wants. I can heal it next turn if I need to do more spell shenanigans, but I'd rather have the health total. Yeah, it just seals the game if we're high life, so. Okay, shut him out perfectly. That was beautiful. That was the deck in action really right there. So I just want to play one more because it's fun. I think we've actually gotten a good view of what this deck can do and how to play it, but I'm really just enjoying it, so. Taking a little while for our queue, but hopefully we get somebody good. It's a worthy opponent, what do you know? Okay, Paladin, this one should be fun. This can certainly get out of hand early if you're not careful. The Wild Pyro is fantastic though, so we're for sure going to keep that. Actually, we're okay with this entire curve. Brand might scare him. Sinjin is a solid 4-drop. I wouldn't mind seeing a Northstar Cleric pop in as well, just to play on turn 1, but we may not play the Wild Pyro on 2, depending on what he does. Probably won't, in fact. But I didn't want to send these back just because I would be very worried that we'd get like Archthief, Rafam, and Entomb instead, and it would just make it way too slow. So, this denies coin muster. It also sort of denies Haunted Creeper. Since we do have the spell activator for turn 3. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Mostly to make him think about it, not because I actually think it's going to get a lot of value. Just want him to feel bad about it. Okay, that's fine. He's probably going to muster here and just kill our Pyro. Which is okay, because you know he's getting 3 minions, he's taking 3 damage. We have minions, we have a taunt, we can even double Elise next turn, so I'm okay with that, because he's going to feel pretty guilty about leaving Bran alive, even if he musters here. Oh, he didn't muster. That is disastrous, I feel like. Goodness. So we definitely Elise here, because we have all the time in the world. But what is in his hand? Maybe this is a really late game Paladin? So we have 2 maps now. That's pretty crazy. It's really likely we get one of those. It's a 1 in 12 chance right now every time.
None may steal
Keeper of Uldaman, okay. That's interesting. I really need to Thought Steal, so I'm gonna sack this first, I guess. Just don't have a good way to kill that right now. Problem is, if I Thought Steal first, it kills this. So I guess I could heal Thought Steal trade. Maybe that's the best play. These go down to 2 though, which is pretty susceptible to Consecration. It's kind of sad. I could be with no board, but he'd be floating a mana. He likely wouldn't have a play, so I could Jenny or Singe and heal. I think that's the play, and we just hope he doesn't have Consecration here. But we need to get our hand full of some stuff. Oh, Reno. Okay, it's Reno Paladin. Interesting. The question now is Wild Pyromancer more valuable than Elise? So I have a choice to trade here. It might be, but we don't really have a spell for 1/1s. Either way, nah, if he musters, he can just kill it anyway, so Consecration here hurts a little, but really it's not too bad. We've gotten lots of value out of these, yeah. So he got a 1-drop to play? Oh, he's got the coin still. So that's a little annoying, but not really. I could Sinjin, but I don't really need to, and I don't need to heal, so the mana is not really important. And we drew the Velen, so I like the idea of having this around to potentially do something crazy next turn. So he's going to kill it. That's okay. That's 1 equality down. He just used equality, so I feel okay about doing this. We'll see, I guess. If he has the 2nd equality, that's going to hurt a little bit, but I don't know. Reno is interesting. It's a solid 4/6 body, but it might actually be very good if we draw into our Elise combo, because Elise makes it very likely we don't duplicate any legendaries. That could be pretty fun. I have 2 Entombs. I have to save one of them for Tyrion, but since I have 2, I feel okay about entombing this. And then I'll just heal here, and that might also encourage him to play Tyrion, because he thinks, oh, he just used Entomb, I'm going to play Tyrion, it's safe, but then I have the 2nd Entomb, so after that, like, Dr. Boom's our only real threat, I think, that we have to deal with. We have the death for that as well, so 9 mana. Guy's not doing much. I think I'm gonna Thought Steal first. This doesn't feel great. I mean, we might fall behind on board just a hair, but we could deny like a lay on hands. He's got some easy trades here. I don't want to trade into the Belcher because the Lotheb might trade into it. I could circle. What's this help that? Does that actually help us any? If I circle, it just goes up to 7. No, you still kill it. I don't think it matters. That might be more important later with Arcane. I encourage use of a minion here. If he plays Boom, we can Death. If he Plays Tyrion, we entomb. Huh. That's really not the worst Kel'Thuzad, I guess. Is it? I could entomb it, but I think I have to save entomb for Tyrion. I'm just gonna Shadow Word Death it. And just gonna play Reno as a body. We don't get a Reno effect, so I don't really care about that. He may not realize that's from him. This guy has the greediest Paladin deck ever. I can BGH that, because we stole his BGH, thankfully. That's okay. Holy Nova would be pretty good again. We'll map first. This draws you a card, so it might be nice to map. That might be good. Let's BGH. Let's do this. Yep, let's do this. Man, these are all bad. Just really, really bad. I guess I Silent Night just because it potentially gets buff value. I don't know. I don't like it, though. Okay, so he probably got the one that plays a bunch of 3/3s. I didn't watch it all. So I'd really, really, really like to see Akanai soon to hopefully deal with that. Just gonna trade here. We don't care about that. I do care about falling behind on the board just a hair, though. Holy Nova doesn't feel that good. I'm just gonna Silent Night Hero Power. I kind of wanted to lay on hands just to draw cards, but I want to take more damage first, so I actually get value from that heal. So this is the most low maintenance play. Holy Novaing right now is really not that good. It would have left him with 2 minions. Oh boy. That doesn't feel good. Man, we're almost dead now. Do I have a way to kill that other than entomb? Don't think so. I think I have to entomb that. That's really sad. Because then Tyrion, then I don't have an answer for Tyrion at all. I guess I map first. Shadow Word Pain. I can clear his board at least, I guess. We really get wrecked by Tyrion here, though. He can clear. He's probably gonna have Tyrion soon. That's very sad. I need my other death. I think if I used them both, maybe. Ah, that's rough. I wanted to lay on hands, bro. Why you gotta be a jerk? I need a body here, a minion. Shadow Word Death. That's tough. He has 7 damage. Huh. Let's see. If I don't do anything but heal, he takes me down to 7. If he plays Tyrion, worst case scenario, he has 11, 12, 13 damage on board. So lay on hands would keep me alive for 1 turn, but then he'd have the weapon from Tyrion. I don't think I could recover. Holy Nova now doesn't accomplish anything. Do I send out the Northstar Cleric just to die? To stall? Because he has to run the Lotheb into it? Man, that Lotheb was so well timed because I really wanted to lay on hands this turn. I think I have to send this out to die. Because I have the card draw anyway. And this might save me 5 health. This might be a 5 health Northstar Cleric to buy me time. Okay, Muster's totally fine. We have Holy Nova for that. We feel totally fine about Muster. So he can actually kill this without the Lotheb. So that means it only saved me 3 health, but still. that's kind of annoying. There's our golden monkey, boys. We wouldn't mind getting that right now.
Reporting for duty.
So Holy Nova, he still has 10 health. That is so... I think I have to Shadow Word Death. I'm gonna do this first to see if I get like a crazy taunt or something. No, those are all miserable. Ugh. So I have to Holy Nova. And... although I could theoretically stay alive, I could go up to 13. I think I have to Death. So he can't kill this with a weapon, which means he could maybe trade. If he has a Tyrion, we're just done. That's it right there. No, lay on hands. That's good. That's actually good for us. We don't care if he draws more cards right now. I need time. So we can also lay on hands. I maybe should have taken a 2-drop instead of this Dark Cultist to combo with lay on hands. I didn't think about that. Yeah, maybe should have taken a 2-drop. But we might get one anyway. Where are our Aucheneyes? There's an Aucheneye finally. Man, took 100 years. Okay, so we might be able to clear next turn. We can actually double circle if we need to. So we could kill a Tyrion, but he'd have the weapon again. That's probably the Tyrion finally. No. Okay, that's fine. We can deal with that all day. I wish he was out of weapon charges, though. Wish he was out of weapon charges, though. That's a little better, but... Oh, that's the best one, too. Cool. Okay, so we can actually clear and taunt, which is pretty sick. Where is our golden monkey at, though, guys? I mean, it's got to be coming soon, right? So hopefully that saves this. We're still scared of Tyrion pretty hard. What else did we entomb? Oh, that shielded mini-bot. That'd be a pretty bad draw at this point. But we did get this one off the entomb. Yeah, so there's the Tyrion we can't deal with. What is that? What was that for 2 mana? So that can go to 5. But I can't kill the Tyrion with it. Ugh. But it makes it an awfully big taunt. Equality is going to wreck us here soon, by the way. Just so you know. I have a feeling Equality Consecrate is going to ruin our hopes and dreams very soon. Very, very soon.
This is no place for mortals.
I'm considering sacking both of these. And then Circle of Healing to get this high again, but Equality just ruins my dreams. Do you think he runs double Equality? Either way, I guess Equality ruins my hopes and dreams, so I have to try. So he theoretically can't get through this right now. Consecration would do it, Equality would do it. Quality's a board clear, of course. We do have a nice follow-up, I guess.
I have no time for games.
Okay, that's not awesome, but it's something, I guess. It's not... means we're not dead. Is that an owl? That's what that was before. That was an owl. Yeah. It's intriguing that he did it that way. I certainly would not have done it that way. That makes it a lot easier for me to deny the Sylvanas value, perhaps. Let's see what we get. Sludge Belcher's something. So, what minion do we want the Sylvanas to take, I guess? Not sure we know. I put that at 6 specifically, so it traded awkwardly. Instead of doing that the other way around, I could have put this at 5, but then it traded smoother. So you might have to use like Consecration or the weapon to get through. And then I'm just going to load up with minions. I don't actually care what Sylvanas steals too much, but I'd sure love it to be the Museum Curator, or maybe any of these middle ones. not my taunts. But I really don't have much control over that. Equality is not too bad, I guess. This one would be pretty cool too. Yeah, that's fine. We can kill that very, very easily. That's annoying, but not that bad. We're still in this game somehow. We got through it steering. He's almost out of cards too. Shoot. That's pretty good. As long as you don't draw the shield of Minibot next turn, I think we're safe. Ooh, is that good? That might be good. That might be good. It's not that good though. I don't think I'm gonna Holy Nova yet. He has a lot of stuff that might be great for Holy Nova. I'm gonna do it this way. I'm actually scared of my life total because Consecrate is 10 damage, so I have to heal myself. I don't want to die to Consecration like an idiot, so... He might have a Dr. Boom left that we can't kill, but beyond that, I think we're okay as long as we live. Oh, that might be great if he musters. Oh, Dr. Boom. That's actually okay too, as long as our Paladin Sky Golem stays alive. Oh, that's a big juggle. He's gonna go face. Shield a Minibot, okay. I really, really, really want to see something good out of here. It's not that good. He has 8 damage next turn, no matter what. That's really rough. We need these boom bots to not kill us. We need them to hit the mini bot twice or something. Okay, so we're technically alive. The Consecration kills us. He has to run 2, right? So I think we're just dead. He's drawn through his whole deck. We must have it. He doesn't have Consecration. Wow. I need the golden monkey here. That's not it. Is that enough? We have to let that live, I guess. I think we leave him at 5 no matter what. No, we can put him down to 2. No. Is there a way out of this? Oh gosh, I almost accidentally clicked. Trade there. It doesn't actually matter if one of those things has a lot of life, I guess. If I play the Akanai though, can I ever recover again? I don't know. It looks like I have to heal no matter what. So I have to do this first and then play this. He needs 1 damage. He has to have a Consecration. I feel like he must have missed lethal last turn. If he plays... Gosh, I think even a Silverhander Fruit might kill us. Wow, that's good. That just bought us 5 health. Circle of Healing here might win the game. Golden Monkey's not bad, to be honest.
Feel my pain.
I think Golden Monkey might have been our best draw. Whoa, this is a heck of a game. What is that last card? So he can get through it, but he can only do 1 damage, and then he's out of minions, and we can start picking stuff off. I think we win. I don't see how he wins here. He's gonna be spawning a lot of little stuff. We're getting a legendary every turn, so we'll do it this way. At this point, we should just be able to kill every minion he summons. I don't know what that is. It must be like a Acolyte. I think we only saw 1 Acolyte. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna win here. Well, that doesn't actually hurt us too much. Oh, this is more damage. I should have maybe played that, but because we are getting kind of close to fatigue. If we're doing 7-9, I think we're fine. We got 2 cards left. We should be fine. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Wow. What a game that was. That was amazing. I think any different decision at any given point in the game would have cost us that one. We got a little lucky. We made it through everything. We didn't even use our entombs that well. The gold monkey was a clutch draw there. I don't know what else was in the deck, but I'm not sure anything else kept us alive on that particular turn. So, wow. Okay, that's the League of Explorers budget control priest. Like I said, it's a crazy fun deck. It's awesome for beginners. You can do some nutty stuff. That was a monster Paladin we just took down. So that was a lot of fun. If you want to play this deck, I certainly encourage it. If you have any questions, do let me know. I'm happy to answer them. I can recommend a few upgrades, although I really don't think there are that many that need to be made. There are certainly a couple that can make it a little bit stronger. So do leave a comment or question. If you enjoyed what you saw, I'd be happy if you subscribed. We've got more deck guides coming always, so keep an eye out for those. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, game on.